full split, that was 65%. And that shows some significant improvement to these matchups with the need to beat teams. And this, for the most part, shows that T-Corral was a very good move.
Well, hopefully they can continue their lead on the lower than top 8 teams, out of the top 8 teams here as well, or at least the stats are benefiting them. But already saw one surprise. How many more can happen? And definitely that is a lovely play in the midfield to start off Empty Space.
Oh yeah, it's a good little start for Empty Space, putting the pressure on getting downfield in the first 30 seconds, just starting to ask the questions, and maybe having that early possession, they can do something with it, is gonna, you know, scare the Soniqs a little bit. Maybe they're a bit unaware of how Empty Space will approach the game, because probably not seen them too often themselves. Knight, probably one of the youngest players here today in this regional. I think he's 15 and got a lot of potential, having made RLCS twice already. And Soniqs going to be looking out for him.
There's going to be some respect given from Soniqs for sure at the very beginning. They're going to be looking at their opposition and thinking, well, yeah, exactly, what can they do? And if Knight will be the one to lead them through it, well, we're going to see exactly how it's going to be perspiring. As 1 minute has passed, and it has been a reconnaissance round for both of the teams. I could see that Empty Space are trying to play their own game, trying to get a little bit of action going, and Tato on the flank receives a perfect pass from his teammate, Monster. This is a 1, 2, and 3 going. Oh, shock. Oh, shock.
Absolutely right when you say reconnaissance, but you can't take your foot off the pedal like that. Soniqs, they've got caught slacking there, as they're not really playing up to their full pace and full ability. They're just trying to see what Empty Space do, but they've given them an empty space for them to play into. And now it is a 1-goal lead for the underdogs here. And, well, we saw what 72 Pink Connector could do. Now we're here to see what Empty Space can do.
There's no Jacob on this side on the Soniqs, but there's definitely Shock fixing the mistake that he has made earlier with a pass straight into the waiting hands of Taito. He does it all himself. Just needs the backboard, just needs the boost. And there it is. The man is a one-man show.
Shock has been one of these players that can really make things happen. And right there, making something out of almost nothing, working that well. Question maybe the Empty Space defense a little bit. They got caught off guard. And now it was all level with T-Corral looking to find some room to move around there in the offensive third as he drops it back down for J Rush. He's going to look to play this infield from the corner, gets it popped up well, looking for that bump on Taito, but couldn't quite get there. T-Corral looking to cause some havoc on that backboard as well. Shot getting denied in the midfield, but he will get it to J Rush into that 50 on Knight. Taito looking for that corner, but T-Corral, good backboard defense from him. The Soniqs now on a quick transition play down to J Russ, but blocked by Taito again. He's going to keep the score level at 1-1. About half the game gone.
Oh, this positioning, great clear by Taito. Otherwise, the Empty Space positioning all on the ground, all in the line. Yes, they're ready to come in for one shot after the other, but I felt like that static positioning would have hurt him a bit if Soniqs had just a little bit of time to play with the ball, to move it around. Then did not opt for that play, and again, that play on the backboard from Taito. Make sure that Soniqs see nothing in front of that attack. And once again, I see this. You and I have been talking about this during the break, during the previous game as well, is the fact is that North American teams do love to play incredibly deep, and you saw it right there. But playing deep does not mean squat anymore, as Monster find themselves an opportunity in front of the net. Just did a tour of the duty, it seems, all around the field. Gets back into rotation, gets himself a chance.
Well, Empty Space taking the lead again. A little unexpected to have done this now twice here in Game 1. You'd think that the Soniqs may have the upper hand going into the first game, as those early game nerves and early series nerves would come out for Empty Space. They've got something to prove. They're here in the regional. They don't want to get first rounded, and I'm sure that Knight would like a longer run for his third outing here in a regional. T-Corral trying to follow this one up to the backboard. He's unable to ask any questions of the Empty Space defense, and Tito with the clear again. It's not going to be followed though, and there's a bit of a midfield battle ensuing as Knight tries to get it away again. Going to be met by J Russ, looking to get this down into the middle for T-Corral, who is eventually going to get a touch. Pop it up for Shock, who looks for the net, but it's again wide, and Soniqs need to be more clinical on attack if they want to find another equalizer.
It seems like Soniqs have been really finding those ways on unsettling Empty Space defense, but since they couldn't finish it up, all of that comes to nothing. Empty Space are now recharged, recovered, Ooh, and maybe just a little bit panic. Knight backwards, but he had all the time to get a powerful clear. A little bit of a bonk from behind, and he gets it going. He even gets it going on the other side of the field. Oh, Knight had such a great opportunity in front of a net. And really, while Soniqs are getting those solid creative chances, starts of creative chances, feels like every single time Empty Space ventures into the offense, they have an opportunity for themselves, and that is mostly down to Soniqs, their own undoing. And that is so strange to see at this level.
It is definitely an interesting point you bring up. Soniqs have had their fair share of possession. They've been in the offensive third more than Empty Space have, but Empty Space just seem to be working that ball just a little bit more efficiently when they are in possession, and it's causing some problems for Soniqs at the back. Now all clustered on net, trying hard to get it away, but not really finding a route through. Monster there in the midfield, and this could be dangerous. Shock a little wide. He's got T-Corral behind him, but it's looking awkward. Very close together with 10 seconds left on the clock. Soniqs not looking to find a way through. Knight trying to put this one to bed. Tito's there as well. He's going to be having his head in his hands for missing that. If they do find a goal here on the counter, Shock and T-Corral with the follow. But Monster keeps it out, and Empty Space take game number 1.
Alrighty, the upsets continue. This is only one game. This is only a start, and otherwise, well, in addition to what we said already about Empty Space getting less looks, but being a little bit more dangerous in the attack, again, down to Soniqs' defense quite often being a little bit inconsistent. While Soniqs have the possession, but the chances that they create for themselves are not being taken upon. This has been an even game, and as such, Soniqs have not just immediately dropped the ball at the very start. But Empty Space, they're here. They want to go into the second round. For Knight, as you've been saying, this would be the third outing, and he, for the first time, would love to not go out in the first round. His previous two matchups in the fall series were not as successful. Always 2 losses and out of the tournament. Did well to get through the qualifiers because there are so many able teams vying for those spots. But as it stands, this is a solid start against the team that was expected to win against them, and yet here we are, 1-0 for Empty Space.
Oh, and luckily we know just how hard it is for smaller names and smaller teams to break through. Soniqs is one of those teams that have been holding their own as sort of that best of the rest, but they're now challenged by Empty Space, and it is a new contender to them, and not many people will have seen a lot of them, but early on, J. Russ will pick the top bins out, getting past Tito, making it awkward at least. Comes back into the middle, and it's a good little 1-2. 1-goal lead early for Soniqs. Now they have an upper hand. They have something to hold on to.
That's a teamwork. That's teamwork right there. Soniqs and Shock sees that there is a small avenue, a little nook into which send the ball back to his teammate. They orchestrated that perfectly. No shot was needed, just a pass. This slowdown of play, if your nerves are not good enough, Soniqs could have reacted too hastily. Still staying solidly. Now trying to play from behind. Empty Space so far has been trying to get those leads, but this is just awkward.
Oh, could it have been like a game 1 honeymoon for Empty Space? Excited to be here. Jubilant, enthusiastic. A great win in game 1, but just like that, there's only 32 seconds gone in this game. And Shock makes it 2-0, and you might be wondering, it was a little easy for them to find that spot. Of course, Tito was blocked out by an opponent, couldn't find his way across the net. They got caught too thin, and the speed of the Soniqs there caught them off guard, but Tito will get a dunk here, and very unexpectedly, have 3 goals in the first minute. T-Corral, it's a very weak clear from him. Monster finds it middle, J-Russ can't get it away, and while Shock, we all feel the pain when you backflip in net like that.
Man, this really goes down to Tito and his trust in the process. Trust that the ball will go to him. That was a quick commitment to that play, and he still beat everyone. Shock, who was coming in from the flank. Jairus had to make a play. That's a solid bit of Rocket League, and here with setups for Monster, Empty Space will try to save their marriage, save that honeymoon, and try to get back on track. With plays like that, it's a good start. The only problem is the handicap that they've given their opposition. 1-goal difference could be a lot sometimes.
Oh, 1-goal lead. Well, it's not a lot. Don't have a cushion there. No real comfort zone. It's still a 1-goal lead, which means that Empty Space will need to be the ones that have to reach and play with that slight bit more desperation. And it is often as that time keeps going on, You take more and more risks to find the back of the net, which is going to open up the game a lot more. And I'm always happy when I see an early goal because it does mean that the game opens up as one team needs to find a goal back in and they can't play passive. They can't afford to take too long because, of course, clock will not stop and not getting a bump in the air. It's very dangerous and a fantastic demo on T-Corral by Tito. Tito really showing he is a dangerous player to look out for.
Did you see it? I thought it was a misplay. Knight bumping into Tito as they were exchanging the play, but Tito gets bumped forward, and that's how he has this advantageous position up front to get a bump on the goalie. I'm pretty sure they have not planned it, but as a result, this turns to be in a play of the highest caliber. Okay, this bump was not planned for sure. Come on, guys. You had it once. You don't have to bump your teammate every single time. But back with a vengeance, back in a fashion, and back with a bang. Empty space. Would like to forget those 2 goals at the start. We're back to even Stevens.
Well, a 4-goal game and not half the game has even passed. And that's what we love to see. The goals coming in left, right, and centre. Defending, maybe forgotten about it a little bit, fallen asleep.
Another bump
on the wheel. Plenty of bumps coming out, and the physical play from empty space clearly causing a bit of havoc at the back for Soniqs. And the question is, how are Soniqs going to deal with this? As now Tito's up again, looks for the drop down, but misses out the chance. And J. Russ still can't get it away. Soniqs looking a little backed up here and cornered in their own half in front of the net. Tito, plenty of space in the midfield. And you've got to think he's got to do better than that from that position. Right at the defender, T-Corral's going to get another save. But Soniqs are feeling the pressure and the sweat starting to form.
There's no doubt about which team is currently feeling fire in their bellies, being fed by that. That is empty space. Those 2 goals have revitalized them after conceding 2 so early in the game. And this is no longer Soniqs' matchup. This is... Somehow it has escaped out of their hands, and the momentum, the morale boost that empty space have gotten, well, we'll take a hit just for a little bit. Soniqs bringing their physical plays of their own as everyone's trying to get in on the rotations. Ooh, that was actually a miss from Monster on that time. Well, that run stopped, but if empty space do have it in them, and from what I've seen already, they do have a lot of those reserves of confidence in them. This could continue on blooming.
Well, I wouldn't want to take too much away from Soniqs for getting that goal. There's a nice little pass in there, but you've got to think empty space making a few mistakes, and that could be the difference in this series as empty space are a more novice team. But here they prove that while they may concede on one end, they can respond very, very quickly. And T-Corral, he got something on it, but it wasn't enough. And again, it's even Stevens, as you said earlier.
Back to 3-3, and I love it. Monster has that. I think initially he was trying to go for the right corner or right side of the net, and he has saved that jump at the very least. Goals are coming in faster. We are able to talk about them. And there's another go-ahead for Soniqs. That's just a solid midfield pass. You always want to get some sort of scoop from the wall, because pushing it through the defenders is just a futile task. But in that case, that's a lot of power, and that's a lovely pass to put Soniqs ahead. Well, I'm just sitting here and waiting for empty space to equal it up again.
I'm sure it'll come within the next 7 seconds. A bit rude, really, scoring this quickly. It doesn't give us enough time to actually talk about the game.
Horrible. Absolutely horrible. We're going to forgive you on the first time. First offense is just a notice. But if you do this again, man. Well, will they do it again? Knight, he was in position surely to get that going. Again, the positioning is there. The players are going for the right place. Sometimes you just see teams falling apart and not knowing what to do with the ball. Here, though. Ooh. Okay, all good. All good? All good.
Oh, Knight had to scramble for that one, but it's a great transition play. Tito's up! Oh, he's missed the target, just denied by the crossbar. But empty space showing they have some pace on those transition plays. The counter-attack coming quick, and they just missed the accuracy on the shot. So close to equaling it, the score again. Soniqs holding this 1-goal lead, and as we've seen in this series, it's been hard to hold on to, but for once they found that comfort. They found a cushion with 18 seconds to go. T-Corral rising above everyone in the midfield. Caught Tito and Monster slacking. They were a bit wide, couldn't get there, and now Soniqs do have the upper hand. Only 18 seconds to hold on to a 2-goal lead. You'd think it should be doable.
Well, I'm not going to be in the business of making any predictions, and this would have been a lovely play, but nobody, neither Knights nor Tito, really got any touch in that one. And now the plays of well, whatever the word is not coming to me right now. Desperation, that's the word. Thankfully coming in right as the timer runs out, as I was desperate to find that one. Soniqs do fight back, but not without empty space constantly matching them punch for punch. This has been yet another game that has been equal up until the very last moment. And honestly, with the way that empty space are finding those opportunities for themselves, this series is far from over.
And one thing we could see in that game is empty space. They had more of the ball. They were in the opponent's half a lot more, and they often looked the more dangerous team. There were long periods in which they mounted pressure on top of the Soniqs, and Soniqs just finding it hard to get through the midfield. And the real difference in this game was just the quality of the play, the individual players, the amount of time they've been around at this level. Soniqs, of course, have the upper hand there, and that's why on paper they're the better team. And empty space just making a couple of mistakes that led to the goals for Soniqs. But empty space still asking all the right questions. Now they just need to find a couple of answers if they want to take the series. But all level, and we're reduced to either team needing 2 wins to find a win.
Well, whatever happens, my prediction is as such. We're going to see some exciting and entertaining gameplay right here. Soniqs and empty space, I see no way they're going to slow down as the ball immediately gets stuck in midfield. Doesn't count. It's just an exciting start. Everyone playing equally, with empty space wanting to bounce back after that loss. How is the bounce back after conceding 2?
Well, empty space, they play with like a certain desire, like passion. You can see they really want to be here. They really want to make the most of this opportunity. And I think it's that excitement that is giving them the confidence to go forward, attack Soniqs. They don't look nervous. They're okay to throw themselves forward. Soniqs, of course, you know, when you are the favorite, you've got this sort of expectation on your shoulders. It can often be a lot of weight, pressure, seemingly getting to them at times. Monster there into the 50. J-Russ, again, not a convincing clear. Shock, though. Good reactions from him to send it back to the midfield. And now Soniqs mounting a decent attack. The drop down from T. Corral. J-Russ not able to get on the end of it. And we do maintain a 0-0. The goal's not coming quite as quick, thick and fast as in Game 2.
Well, maybe my prediction was wrong. Maybe both teams finally have decided to adjust for their opposition. And right now they're canceling each other out pretty swell. Well, that's only going to make that eventual goal that much more sweeter for whichever team is going to get it. We're seeing empty space going into the attack, struggling to get into the attack. And with those demos and Tikral not only getting the player, but also getting the ball in the end. That is some miracles of really making sure you are in the right spot at the right time.
Well, Knight going to get this one clear, but it's not really with any purpose. But J-Russ is a big mistake from him. Hasn't taken control of that ball, and now empty space. Looking threatening, and Knight comes across shot, gets it over back to Tito, but again, play to the corner, no real purpose behind that hit. Just handing possession back over to Sonic. Shock able to follow this one. Tito's going to whiff, and it's looking a bit chaotic at the back. Knight back to the ball. Never how you want to be, and he's not able to clear. Shot keeps it going for Sonics. That's going to roll all the way across. T. Corral and J-Russ both going up, but they won't find the net, and Sonic's going to be wondering how they haven't taken the lead with this play.
They were so close. Monster pre-jumped for that play as well. Backward was not covered. Everything was in shambles. And yet here we are. Well, here we are again by the looks of it. As all it takes for Susquehanna Sonics is just a one touch to bring the ball back. But the possession has exchanged hands. Now there's some attempts by empty space. And once again, they're letting Sonics do their own business. Trying to catch Sonics on making an unnecessary touch. A small mistake on which then empty space players can jump on. And they're definitely taking their time to position themselves against for the clears as well. That allows them to, just for a little bit, take control of the narrative and take control of the pace. If they can play at their own speed, it might actually bring them benefits. For now, at 0-0, and knowing who we're expecting to see in this to win in this series, empty space are doing pretty well.
Good bump coming out from Sonics, trying to cause some problems at the back, but again, it's not enough, and it's quite just the stalemate here in Game 3. Both teams, as you said earlier, cancelling each other out, and they continue to do so here long into Game 3. And often see that the ball is not being worked enough. long hits coming out from empty space into, well, empty space and not finding one another. No real purpose behind the plays. Soniqs, though, while they do work that ball a little bit better, empty space are holding tight at the back, defending valiantly and not giving Soniqs room to move and create an opportunity that would be able to find the back of the net. And now perhaps Jay Russ drops it down, and they do take the goal. It's taken them almost 4 minutes here, but finally the deadlock is broken. Shock finding Jay Russ. Monster not reacting quick enough. The double commit coming out, and both players get caught out by the drop down.
I'm pretty sure Monster just went into the net, rotation that he did not need to make, and actually bumped Knight out of the flick that Knight has prepared. Knight has risen to the occasion really early himself, so God knows what would happen in the end if Monster wouldn't be there to stop his teammate. And I'm pretty sure that's exactly what happened. A double commit, an unfortunate touch on your own teammate, and really that's a freebie. J-Russ really had no business scoring this with 2 defenders. That's a 1-0 on the board. And that's with Soniqs with 45 seconds of time trying to keep it as is.
It's tough for empty space. It's these small nuances which can give the opportunity and eventually the lead to Susquehanna Soniqs, as it was really their own doing. As you said, have no business scoring there. Shock is up again, this time blocked well by Monster. Over to the midfield where Jay Russ going to continue the air dribble, tries to go with the flip, will miss out though, and Knight not keeping this close enough. T. Corral dispossesses him, looks to set it up, hopefully dropping it down, but Tito is there to get the block. Less than 10 seconds to go, and empty space are running out of time to find an equalizer, looking for that aerial bump on T. Corral, but it's not worked, and it's going to come down, and Soniqs are up onto match point, but not without a bit of sweat.
There's a lot of sweat coming in from both teams. Again, this has been a match mostly fought in the midfield. And in the end, it was just down to one small, silly mistake from empty space. They could have continued this into overtime, and I wouldn't be surprised if we would have seen another 5 minutes or so of action of teams doing this push and pull, push and pull. And with a 0 on the board, nobody in the lead, obviously anyone had a chance of stealing this, so I wouldn't be surprised if empty space could have taken it in the overtime if that would have happened. Instead, well, you need to wisen up, you need to toughen up, and you need to fight more games if empty space, of course, want to win this series. For Soniqs, there's only one more remaining, but it hasn't been easy. This is not what they expected, I'm pretty sure. Respecting their position from the very start, we saw that as both teams were doing that recon, but empty space are fighting with a lot more fervor, perhaps, than Sonic were expecting from them.
Oh, Soniqs definitely weren't expecting to have this tough of a matchup. And indeed, at game 1, trying to figure each other out. Game 2, how the Soniqs were playing based on nerves and just trying to go as quickly as possible. Jay Russ almost making it 1-0 very, very early. And we saw game 3, Susquehanna Soniqs tightened up and started playing their game, and they're playing it right here. Shock playing it to himself, follows it up. It's a triple tap off the wall. Tito didn't read it. And empty space are going to be feeling pretty sorry for themselves to be down again so early with Soniqs on match point.
Rough, absolutely rough for empty space. Another start, and Shock was this close of scoring again. And if empty space cannot read what Soniqs are doing, I don't know, get an audiobook or something, but this is not working. This is not helping. With empty space, the only thing they have right now for them, besides everything else that we've already seen from them, that is that fire. Again, they return back to the blue side, and they look as if nothing has happened. As if that conceding a goal actually makes them play better, makes them play more aggressive, more in the face of Soniqs. And out of that, we might yet see another goal happening.
Well, Soniqs looking the more threatening team from the start. Empty space finding a bit of space in the midfield. Knight over to Monster. Could be dangerous. It's on target. But Shock keeps it out, and well, he's been the one to shock empty space on 2 occasions this game. But that shot from T. Corral just accelerated the moment he got a touch. Don't know how he got the power. He's going to be happy it went in. Looked to be denied by the crossbar. They double their lead now, Soniqs, and how is this going to affect empty space?
Well, if the previous games is anything to go by, empty space are going to score 2, and we're going to see a big old battle going in from this one. But the longer this goes, the more I'm going to get the feelings of that final game of the series where the underdog is trying to fight hard as he can. They can. But it's just not working, and they're trying too hard, and it's not working even more. Now, Soniqs up 2, and goals coming in at much more frequent pace, and most importantly, in positions where Empty Space could have had an opportunity to take it back. Yeah, this is looking rough. They need a good all breakaway. They need a miss by Soniqs and an overcommit by Soniqs, but knowing their experience, I do not see it in their future. Soniqs should hold this on.
I can imagine, indeed, with the experience that Soniqs have, they're not going to give away any cheap goals. They're going to tighten it up. They're going to play back to the basics. Don't overcomplicate things. They're not going to throw 3 people forward. They're not desperate to get another goal. They've got a 2-goal lead. They can allow one in, and Empty Space will still have to be the ones doing all the work. And at the moment, they're the ones deep inside their own half, not able to really find a solid route out. There's no passing options. And really, it's hit and hope. Try to follow that. Knight, though, with the ball. Couldn't get on the end of it. He was looking for Monster on the other side. They eventually get there. It's blocked. But Tito forces it through. Don't know what he's put on that ball to make it slide on past his opponent. But T. Corral couldn't keep his car on it. And it will be back to just a 1-goal lead for Soniqs.
It's just physics. It's just basic physics. T. Corral had to throw some sort of a block, but his vector was going somewhere else. All the while, Tito was going straight at it. Yep, in the end, he won. The force prevails. Let's see what other passes, what other plays. This was a cheeky one, but Empty Space would not complain. They're going to take it. They're going to take it and try to run with it. Again, that momentum. Try to get that fervor going. It has helped previously, and that was yet another one of these goals that just gets you going in the chat. Go, yes, what a goal! It is a fist bump.
Interesting to see Soniqs almost looking a little bipolar in this series, as they've clearly had moments in which they play composed Rocket League in playing their game, but every now and then it seems like Empty Space are able to get under their skin and forcing them out of that game. And that's where Empty Space are capitalizing. T. Corral now with the slow play. It's a great flick over Monster. Tito can't keep control of the ball. Shock is there in the middle. Over to T. Corral. Great anticipation by Knight to read the play. Gets over, gets the block. But again, Empty Space, the biggest criticism I have of them is what they do with the ball. When they get back in possession, they've handed it right back to Soniqs. And Soniqs has shown them why you can't do that. Long seeking past the shot, back down to J. Russ, and Knight. It is good night.
Oh my goodness. I think Knight expected a shot from the ceiling. That did not come. And of course, pass straight down to alter the potential shot even more. Completely through Empty Space defense for a loop. But the kickoff is in their favor. The players are in position. And if they had a third one coming, of course they have, but this is too high. They have getting bumps in the goal as well. But somehow Soniqs survive after, what, 3-4 shots? Empty Space had their attempt and now have to retreat. And with time being so low, their chances are going to be at a premium.
Oh, if Soniqs get another one here, they will put the game to bed. That nail in the coffin. This time running very, very short for Empty Space. They need to move. They need to move now. Knight will take it away from J. Russ. Monster here trying to seek the midfield again, but again, it's Empty Space backed up in their own. Tito waiting in goal. Knight, again, have to go off that backboard. And it's all Soniqs at the moment, keeping the pressure on, looking for another. And Knight is able to avert the danger, but only for a very short while. Monster now on the end of it. Knight on the wall, but isn't going to be able to come off. Go down onto it. T. Corral finding J. Russ to the backboard. Will he get the double here? It is down and into the top bins. And that is going to wrap it all up, I do think, for Soniqs.
Didn't even have to move. I'm looking at J. Russ, and this is... He set himself in stone for that tap off the backboard. And if there was ever a way to absolutely murder your opposition, to send them to the grave, this was it. Yes, in the end, my feel was right. This was feeling like the game that sends the underdog packing. And Sonic has proven, after some scuffle, no question about that they are the top team. But with the performance that Empty Space have shown in the previous 3 games, I'd say they should be proud of what they have shown here. And Soniqs, well, I feel like Soniqs are going to put yet another name on the board and going to be thinking, all right, if we ever meet Knight, Tito, and Monster, we need to give them even more respect than we gave them initially. Brilliantly played by Empty Space. Unfortunately, they'll have to go to the lower bracket, all the while Soniqs are continuing on into the next round, where bigger, much more bitier teams wait. And very specifically,